Who threw the first punch in that fist fight?
Oh, he did.
He did, yeah.
I couldn't reach him. He was like, you know what it is.
So he threw a punch, like a real punch.
Yeah, he
at
threw
you.
a punch. I had to slip it. And then I threw one back, and then everybody jumped in and just broke it apart.
I wouldn't have jumped anywhere near that. I mean,
no, listen.
Mac. O'Neal slapped Bryant across the face. Hard. His hands are huge, said Corey Blunt, who was playing in the game. The noise was loud. This excerpt from a CBS article references the book by Jeff Pearlman, which in turn discusses the incident that perhaps marked the first major physical altercation between two of the LA Lakers' biggest stars at the time, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, the two major forces that led the famed Laker franchise to the most recent three-peat we've seen in the NBA. And that was about 21 years ago. But while the world knows that there were tensions between the two, and yet they still managed to win 3 straight titles, their feud till this date remains legendary for the significant impact it had on their careers after they won their 3 championships together as teammates. Stick around till the end of this video as we dive into the slap that perhaps changed the fate of the Lakers and rewrote the history books of the NBA. The Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant feud started pretty much with cold exchanges as soon as both the players joined the Lakers, with Bryant coming in as a rookie and Shaq joining as a multiple-time All-Star who had also been Rookie of the Year and won his first scoring title as well. They struggled to break their respective ceilings and deliver a title in LA, but it wasn't until their 3rd season together when, during a pickup game, things got heated enough that Shaq's habit of calling fouls after missing shots irritated Bryant and made him lash out, which in turn prompted Shaq to threaten Kobe to say another word. And when he did, Shaq responded with an "I want to kill you right now" punch. In the words of Old Polonese, Shaq had already threatened to get Bryant traded during their heated verbal exchange before the slap, and Bryant had already made his stance clear by saying that it was his team and questioned Shaq's authority as a leader. Following the slap, however, there was an obvious scuffle, and the two players were separated by their respective teammates. But the anger and frustration that led to this slap had been setting in since the last 2 years, due to the lack of a championship to show for the talent at the Lakers. And this slap further widened the rift, and not in a good way, as the Lakers, for the 3rd consecutive season with O'Neal and Bryant in the lineup, were eliminated in the playoffs, and this time it was by the San Antonio Spurs. But we did mention how this slap changed a lot of things, right? Because, well, it was the first ever reported physical altercation between these two stars. And before it could escalate further, the Lakers decided to act on it by getting Phil Jackson to lead the team and harness the best out of Shaq and Kobe, and transform them from a bickering and estranged pair to the most dominant duo in its prime. And the rest, as they say, is pretty much history. The duo started to flourish under the leadership of Phil Jackson and made their way to not 1, not 2,
not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Wait, not that many, but yeah, 3 titles consecutively, and in some fashion too. One of the standout memories of their success on the court came during the year 2000 in the Western Conference Finals, where the Lakers, after leading the series 3-1 against the Portland Trailblazers, had lost Game 5 and 6, and were trailing by 15 points in the 4th quarter of the crucial Game 7. O'Neal and Bryant rallied the Lakers to a 25-4 run across that final stretch and led them to victory. A victory which is also famous for their magnificent alley-oop and dunk, which was followed by that wild celebration.
Kobe Bryant's 2 free throws and then a jumper gave the Lakers a 4-point lead. And now his assist to Shaquille O'Neal. The Lakers won as much as they showed heart, down 16. A huge comeback in the 4th quarter.
It was one of the defining moments of their success. And to think that they had been at each other's throats not that long ago. Despite their success, and we keep saying on-court success for a reason, Kobe and Shaq continued feuding, but it was not as vicious. However, the very next season, they landed another championship. But their feud escalated as Shaq had turned up in preseason extremely out of shape, and that angered Bryant beyond control.
Well, bruh, if you were in shape, by the time I run down on a fast break and run back and then run down, you're still coming down the first time, bruh. Like, what the hell do you want me to do?
They continued to disagree on the triangle offense that the Lakers were running and how Bryant was more involved. Rumors came in of Shaq demanding a trade after a blowout win against the Suns, Phil Jackson called their actions juvenile. Shaq thought Kobe was selfish. Kobe thought it was all about changing and evolving, and, pretty much back to being a bickering couple. The attention now was on Shaq for his underperformance, and he responded by getting back into shape and then going on a rampage with the Lakers as they marched towards a 15-1 postseason, a then record which has since been broken by the 2016-17 Golden State Warriors team that went 16-1 in the postseason, but not bad at all. Their three-peat season was a tough one, as it was marred by personal loss where Bryant lost his grandfather, Phil Jackson lost his mother, and in terms of injuries, Shaq had a painful big right toe that was going to be the center of problems in the season right after. Despite that, the Lakers managed to land their third straight title, and Shaq, his third straight NBA Finals MVP. What happened after that season pretty much sealed the fate of this duo, as their rocky 2002-2003 season culminated with a loss in the conference semifinals. And then in July, more personal problems came up as Kobe had rape charges come his way. And it wasn't just this. Changes in the overall Lakers roster, disagreements over playing styles, Shaq and Kobe questioning each other's ability and leadership, and more such reports kept on coming in to make matters worse for the Lakers and for the duo at the center of the feud. Bryant further took shots at O'Neal for practically begging for a contract extension, and Kobe expressed his disappointment at Shaq for having his bodyguard contact him during his legal troubles instead of doing it himself. And Shaq was critical of Kobe not attending his wedding and not inviting a single teammate to his own wedding either. The bickering couple perhaps just needed a healthy dose of bromance, and probably therapy, or even couples therapy. The Lakers struggled and limped their way to the 2004 NBA Finals, but Shaq being terrible on defense was cited as one of the major reasons for their failure in that series, which they lost 4-1 to the Detroit Pistons in an absolutely humiliating fashion. When a championship-winning, three-peat winning squad crumbles, it crumbles exactly like that, to a point of no return. And the point of no return came soon, as the Lakers decided to go against the idea of renewing Phil Jackson's contract, and Shaq reportedly hearing Mitch Kupchak's proposition to potentially trade him. Shaq demanded a trade from the Lakers, which he got, and he made it clear that he wasn't happy with the way things were shaping up with the Lakers. What happened the very next day after Shaq was traded to the Miami Heat was even more damaging, as Kobe signed a 7-year deal with the Lakers, and Shaq didn't hold back in saying that Kobe could have spoken up for him. What started off as a cold rivalry that could have passed off as banter turned to an argument that led to one player slapping another player, which then turned into a cold rivalry again that saw these two players put their differences aside, at least for a while on the court. Now finally saw them on different teams, in different uniforms, and in different stages of their careers with a point to prove. And that point was, of course, winning a championship without the other. The feud escalated further when shots were traded about paying women hush money to keep quiet in public about their respective personal engagements. And Shaq at least got his revenge temporarily by winning another championship in 2006, now putting his total at 4 rings compared to Kobe's 3, and Shaq's first in Miami. Kobe followed it up with 2 titles of his own with the Lakers, cementing his legacy as well with 5 titles, and becoming the main man for the Lakers after Shaq's departure. They developed a certain degree of mutual respect for each other and dismissed the feud, with Shaq going as far as to say it was all just a marketing ploy. But even that, Shaq admitted that it made him furious to see Bryant win his 5th ring.
Do you think I was pissed when you got number 5?
Of course you were.
Oh,
no doubt.
I told my house up.
No doubt. I bet you did.
No, I went crazy.
The feud died down in the years to come as the duo continued to display their mutual respect. But the speculation still remains in the hearts and minds of NBA fans all over the world that had they stayed together, would they have won more titles? Could Shaq and Kobe have really outdone the likes of Michael Jordan and his Bulls roster? What if their 3 titles together was just scratching the surface? What if the legacy was supposed to last for much longer? Guess we'll perhaps never find out, as Shaq went on to play for Miami, Phoenix, Cleveland, and Boston for brief stints, whereas Bryant stayed as a Laker for all his career. But one would certainly be ignorant to say that they couldn't have had at least one more championship together, had their time together not started in such a rocky fashion, and had the first slap never been landed. But what do you think? Would Shaq and Kobe have been the most dominant NBA duo of all time had they stayed together? Let us know in the comments below. And on that note, we finally come to the end of this video. Do make sure you click that like button and hit the subscribe button as well to join our channel's growing community. Stick around for more such entertaining NBA content, and we will see you in the next one.